Hi, I'm Megan, and today I'm going to play a solo game of Disney Villainous. This is the Wicked to the Core expansion by Ravensburger for ages 10 and up, and each of the expansions plays 2 to 3 players, and it plays in around 40 to 60 minutes. If you have the base game or multiple expansions, you can play up to 6 players. So I'm first going to show you how to play multiplayer, and then I'll go over the differences for solo. And there's not a whole lot of differences for solo, and there's not an official solo mode for this game. I'm playing with a variant that I found on BGG. There are multiple variants out there on BGG, but this is the particular one that I play with. So in Disney Villainous, each villain, so each player, will have a different objective. And the winner is whoever completes their objective first. So to set up, you're going to give each player their chosen villain. In this expansion, there's the Evil Queen, Dr. Facilier, and Hades. So you'll give them their player board, as well as their deck of cards, which is the same color as their player board, and it says the name of the villain down here at the bottom. You're going to shuffle up the villain deck, the colored deck, separately, and place it to this side over here. Then you'll shuffle the white deck and put it on this side. Then give each player their matching villain pawn, as well as their villain guide. These guides will tell you what your objective is. So there's information on the front and the back. And it tells you all about your objective, and it even tells you a little bit about some of the different cards you have in your deck, because each villain will have a different deck of villain cards and hero cards. Give each player a reference card, which tells you the different symbols, and on the back it tells you the different villain objectives for that particular game box. So this only has the villain objectives of the 3 villains that come in this expansion. Place the power tokens in a supply nearby so everyone can reach. And I'm going to put these off to the side. It won't be in view of the camera, but I'll keep my personal supply in view of the camera. The first player does not start with any power. The second player starts with 1, and the third player starts with 2. So in solo, I'm the first player, so I will start with 0. And then each villain, or some villains, will have a lock symbol on the far right location. So if they do, you need to give them the lock token and place it on that location. You cannot visit this location until you remove the lock. And that is everything for a setup for a 2 to 3 player game. And to set up solo mode, for this particular variant that I found on BGG, which I will link down in the description, you're going to need to print off some papers. So you need to print off the rules, as well as this AI track and the different villains here. So I have all the different villains for the different expansions and the core box. And since I'm playing with the Evil Queen, I'm going to take this paper here with the Evil Queen on it. You could cut these out so they're individual. I just have them all on one paper. So you're going to set this off to the side, which I'm going to do here in a minute. And if you're going to play on hard, so you're going to place 2 of these power tokens here. And if you want to play on hard, you place a 3rd one there. Make sure you read the special rules and all this information here. Then you're going to need the AI track, so put that off to the side as well. And you're going to need 2 D6 and place 1 on this action space here. And then finally, you will need a villain pawn. So I'm going to use Hades for the AI, and they're going to move along this track here. And your objective in solo mode is to basically to complete your villain's objective before the AI gets to this final space here. If they reach this final space before you have completed your objective, they win and you lose. So I'm going to place this off to the side. And that is everything for the setup. So it's kind of hard to go over the rules since each villain has a different objective. But basically, and you're going to start with 4 cards. I should have mentioned that in the setup. So you're going to start with 4 cards from your villain deck. And you are only going to play cards from your villain deck. There are some villains that have cards that say to look through your hero deck or to play a card from your hero deck, but that's not very often. All other players, and in solo mode, the AI, will draw from your hero deck. And they're going to play the hero cards above your board in any of these spaces that they want. But if there is a lock token on a location, you cannot play any cards to this location until this lock is removed, or unless that hero card has a special ability that allows you to play the card there. So you're going to play them to the top of the board here, covering up any of the action spaces that are there. And you cannot use those action spaces until you have removed the cards that are covering that space. Multiple cards can be played to the same location, and you would just stack them up like this. So you can have multiple heroes at one location. Your villain cards are going to be played to the bottom of your board like so. And again, you cannot play them to the locked location until the lock is removed. There are a few different types of cards. There are effects, which it tells you the type of the card down here at the bottom. Effects are green. Effect cards, you do not play to your board. And this board is considered your realm. So this is your realm, the top and the bottom. So effect cards do not get played to the board. You do the action and then immediately discard it. Condition cards are played during another player's turn. So you have to really pay attention to these cards because, for example, this condition card says that during their turn, if another player has 2 or more items in their realm, you may play Vanity. So you may play this card if another player has 2 or more items in their realm, but you have to play that during their turn. So if player 2, if they are taking their turn, and I see that they have 2 or more items, I can say, hey, I'm going to play this condition card, and you'll do what it says, and then they will continue their turn. And then that gets discarded. Then there are ally cards, and ally cards are what you use to defeat heroes. This is the strength of this ally card here, a 4. So you play these to the bottom of your board. They need to be below the hero that you are trying to defeat. So if I have, this hero has a strength of 2, and my ally has a strength of 4. So if my ally is below that hero, I can take a vanquish action, which is this symbol here. So I would go to the location with the vanquish action. And the evil queen is a bad example here because she does not have that action. So Hades has that action here. So I would go to this location, and as long as I have an ally that is the same strength or more as that hero I'm trying to defeat, then I can take the vanquish action, and I would discard any of the allies that I've used to defeat the hero. You can use multiple allies to defeat a hero. So if a hero has like 6 strength and I have a 4 and a 2 ally, I would discard both allies that are used to defeat the hero. In this case, I'm only using 1 ally to defeat the hero, so I would discard that ally card, and I'd also discard the hero. And then there are item cards. And item cards do get played to the bottom of your board. Sometimes they are attached to an ally. So what that means is, and it'll say on the card if that's the case, what that means is you'll slide that card underneath that ally like this to where you can see what it says. And that card is now attached to that ally, and you cannot, it's permanent. Usually when you're attaching an item to an ally, it usually increases the strength of the ally it's attached to. Some cards have this activate symbol here. And so not all villains have that action, but Evil Queen does. And so what that means is if I go to a location with an activate symbol, I can activate any of my cards that have that action. So this item, for example, also has it. So, and it doesn't have to be at the location, right? So I can play this here, and there's no activate action on this location, but that doesn't matter. You would just go here, take the activate action, and then you activate this card and do what it says. So in this case, I would pay 3 power in order to find Snow White and play her to my realm. So the Evil Queen's objective is to defeat Snow White. So that's one of the rare cases when you are able to play cards from your Fate deck if your villain objective relies on defeating one of the heroes. This activate action is I can move the Huntsman, which is this card, to any unlocked location. So that lets me move him. This one lets me look at the top 4 cards of my deck. So they all do something different, but if you see that symbol on a card, that means you don't do that action until you activate it with this activation action. And then some villains have special cards in their deck, like the Evil Queen. She has the ingredient cards here. The ingredient card is unique to the Evil Queen, so no other villain will have the ingredient card. And ingredients function the same as effect cards, with a single exception is that the first time you play each ingredient. So I believe there's 4 different types. We got Scream of Fright, we got Black of Night, Old Hag's Cackle, and Mummy Dust. So yeah, she has 4 different types of ingredients. So the first time you play each ingredient, after you do what it says, you're going to put it below your board, right here where it says ingredients. If you play an ingredient card that you've already played before, you'll do what it says, and then discard it. And for the Evil Queen's part of the Evil Queen's objective is to, well, defeat Snow White, but in order to do that, she first needs to unlock this location. So for her to be able to unlock this location, she needs to play each of the 4 different ingredients to right here below her board. And then that allows you to unlock this, and you'll just remove this token, and this location is now available to go to, as well as to play cards to that location. And the 4 ingredients will remain below your board for the rest of the game. So on your turn, you start off with 4 cards in your hand. Put these back. On your turn, you're going to choose a location to visit. And once again, I cannot go to this location until this lock is removed. So I have 3 locations to choose. The start of the game, you can go to any of them. So I may go here, and then you can do all 4 of the actions available at that space. Each of the villains are different. They may not always have 4 action spaces on a location. They may have more than 4, or they may have less than 4. Some of the villains don't have actions up here, so they're all different. But I can do all 4 of these if I want, so I can, this one means I can take power, so I can take 3 power from the supply. And this symbol means I can play a card. So this location, I can play 2 cards. To play a card, you have to pay the cost in the top left corner of the card. And then you do what it says and either discard it or play it to your board depending on what type of card it is. And then I already went over this. This is to activate one of your cards if it has that symbol on it. This one here means I can discard any number of cards from my hand. So if your villain's objective relies on finding specific cards in your villain deck, this is a really helpful action to go through this deck faster. This is gain 2 power. This cloud symbol with the lightning, that means you can do a fate action against another player. And what that means is you will draw the top 2 cards of another player's fate deck, and you will choose one to play. If neither of the cards are playable, then you just don't get to do that fate action, and they'll both be discarded. So the one you choose, you will do what it says and either play it above the board or discard it after you play it, depending on what type of card it is. And you'll discard the other card that you did not choose. So it is really helpful to know what the other villain's objectives are, to know how to best play their hero deck against them. And then this action here means you can move a hero. So if I have a hero here, but say I have an ally, let's find an ally. But say my ally is at this location. I can't defeat that hero until it's at the same location as one of my allies with the same strength or higher. So I can use this action to move a hero 1 space. So I can move it here, which allows me to then defeat it on a future turn. Or if this location happened to have a vanquish action down below here, I can then defeat it after moving it. Or you can move it over here, but you cannot move it onto a locked location if the location is still locked. And then there are other actions here that are not part of my villain's player board. There is the move an item or ally. So I don't have that action, and I don't have the vanquish action. So move an item or ally is to move exactly what it says, an ally card or an item card. Move it one space in any direction, but again, they cannot go to a locked location. And the vanquish action I kind of already went over. You go to that location to vanquish a hero as long as they're at the same location as an ally with the same strength or higher. And then for the Evil Queen, I have this special action here, which is brew poison. And the Evil Queen's villain guide talks about what that action does here. So each time I perform that action, I can convert as many of my power as I want into poison. And then I would move the power onto my board here where it says poison. So I'll keep my poison tokens there. And so these are now poison, and poison is no longer considered power. So it cannot be used to pay for a card. So since the Evil Queen does not have a vanquish action, she instead uses poison apples to defeat her heroes. And to do this, I must brew poison and then get a hero to take a bite, meaning I have to play this card called Take a Bite. And it has a cost of 0. So it says I choose a hero at the Evil Queen's location. So she has to be at the same location as the hero she's trying to defeat. And I would pay poison equal to the hero's strength. So in order to defeat Sleepy here, I'd have to be at the same location and take 2 poison from my board, put it back in the supply, and that defeats Sleepy. So that is how she defeats her heroes. So that's pretty much all the rules for Villainous and for some of the differences for the Evil Queen. And like I said, each villain has a different objective. Some of them have special symbols like this or special cards. So you do have to read each of the different villains because they change the rules a little bit, each one. All right, so my objective here is to defeat Snow White. And so I have this little book here that tells me all about it. So in order to defeat Snow White, I first have to unlock the dwarf's cottage by playing the 4 different ingredients here up below my board. And then I will also need to brew poison in order to defeat heroes. And including, I would also need poison to defeat Snow White. And Snow White can be played by me or by another opponent. So when they go through this, when they do a fate action against me, they potentially will draw the Snow White card. And Snow White can only be played to the dwarf's cottage, even if it is locked. So this is the one exception where you can play a card to a locked location, is if the card says so. And it says Snow White gets +1 strength for each other hero in the Evil Queen's realm. And her strength is 4. And then to defeat her, I would need to go to the same location as her. And I would need the correct amount of poison on my board in order to defeat her. So I would need at least 4, potentially more if there are other heroes in my realm. And once I've defeated her, on that same turn that I did defeat her, I would win the game as long as I have completed my objective before everyone else, or in solo mode as long as I've completed my objective before the AI reaches the end of the track. Alright, so that's everything for the Evil Queen's objective, so I'm going to shuffle up these cards and get started. Alright, I'm all set up and ready to go. I'm going to go over the solo real quick. So I am going to play on hard, so I'm going to place 3 power tokens here. And so basically, when I have completed what it says next to each of these power tokens, I will remove it and place it on the AI track. So this one says when I play my second ingredient. So once I've played my second ingredient, I remove this power token and I'm going to place it on the next fate action. So if Hades was here, I would place this on the next closest fate action there. And what that means is when Hades passes it, they're going to take a fate action against me. They will only draw one card. If the one card they draw is not playable, they will draw a second card. If the second card is not playable, then they just won't take a fate action. So you'll do that for each of the 3 different power tokens here. My second one says the first time Snow White is played, and the third says when I unlock the dwarf's cottage. So anytime the AI player lands on one of these fate actions here, they will take a fate action against me. So normally they will not take a fate action just by passing over it unless the power token is there. They will also take a fate action if they roll a 1. So if they roll a 1, they're going to fate you. If you roll a 1 and land on a fate, they're going to fate you twice. If they land on these purple condition actions, you can play a single condition card from your hand. So it says during their turn, if another player gains 3 or more power, you may play jealousy. Take 1 power from the supply and add it to your poison. So basically, if they were to land on that space and I had this in my hand, I get to take 1 power from the supply and add it to my poison. And then once they pass or land on this dice space here, they're going to receive a second dice. And once they receive the second dice, you will roll both dice each time they take a turn, and you will move them the higher number. So in this case, they will move twice, but I also rolled a 1, so they will also take a fate action against me. Roll again, I got a 5 and a 2. So they will move 5, and the 2 is nothing. When I take a fate action against them, I will get to move them backwards. There are 3 different difficulties as described in the rules here. If I'm playing on easy, I move them backward equal to the die value. If I play normal, I move them backward equal to the die value minus 1. So if I rolled a 5, I move them back 4. And hard is I move them backward equal to the die value minus 2. I'm going to play on normal, so each time I do a fate, I will move them back equal to the die value minus 1. And so we just take turns. I go, they go, I go, they go, just like that. All right, so I start off with 4 cards. I've already got 1 ingredient, so that's good. But I need power, so I'm gonna start off at this location, the mine, and get 3 power. I can play 2 cards, and I can activate a card. I don't have any cards to activate yet, but I can play 2 cards as long as I have the money. On this turn, you may perform actions that are covered by a hero at your location. That's not the case. I have an ingredient, which I might, I have 2 ingredients. All right, that's good, and I have an ally. And heroes at Huntsman's location get -1 strength. So I may want to play this ally ahead of time in case they play a hero against me. So I'll pay 1 to play the Huntsman there, and I will play one of my ingredients. Each time a fate action targets you before your next turn, take 1 power from the supply and add it to your poison. And this one, I choose an unlocked location, and I may move each hero with a strength of 3 or less from that location to an adjacent location. I don't have any heroes, so I'll play this one. That also cost me 1. So that goes below here. So each time a fate action targets me before my next turn, so if they fate me this turn, then I get to take 1 power from the supply and add it to my poison. I'm at 2 cards, so I'm going to draw back up to my hand of 4 cards. And now it is their turn. So we roll the dice. We've got a 3. And now it's back to me. All right, so what did I get? I got another ingredient and an effect, but I got the same ingredient. Choose an item or ingredient from your deck or discard pile and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. All right, so I'm gonna need more power, so let's go here. I get 2. I can discard cards and I can play a single card. I'm gonna discard the cards that aren't useful to me right now at the moment so that I can get those ingredients out. So I discarded 2 and I'll keep these 2. And I will play this one. So it's an effect, so it just goes into the discard pile. It cost me 2. And I can choose an item or ingredient from my deck or discard pile. So I'm going to go through my deck and reveal cards until I get an item or ingredient that I want. Here's an item. Gain 1 power for each hero in your fate discard pile. That's a pretty good one because I do need power in order to convert it to poison. Here's an ingredient. I'm gonna take, probably take an ingredient down at the bottom. I'm gonna take Black of Night. And I have 2 cards. I don't wanna activate any abilities, so that's my turn. Draw back up to my hand of 4 cards, and we will roll for them. 2. Okay, so I've now got 2 ingredients. Let's go here and take a power. I can play a card and I can fate. So I'm gonna fate. I got a 4, so I move them back 3. And this card lets me perform an available action at my location again, even if I've already performed that action. But you can't use this card to fate twice. So I will play this. Oh, no, I won't. So even though this ingredient isn't useful to me right now, I'm gonna go ahead and play it just so I can get those ingredients in there to unlock the dwarves' cottage. It just says that I can choose an unlocked location that in my realm, and I can move each hero with a strength of 3 or less from that location to an adjacent location. I don't have any heroes, so it doesn't affect me right now. So I just draw 1 card. I don't have any heroes to move. are already faded, and I don't have power to convert to poison. Right, they got a 1, so they're gonna do a fate against me. They draw the top card. It is Doc. Evil Queen must defeat Doc before defeating other heroes. And so the rules for placing heroes to your realm for solo is you're supposed to play them to the best of your abilities, play them to a location that hinders you the most. I feel like that's kind of hard to determine most of the time, so I usually just roll the dice to determine where they go. I avoid playing them to a location that I have an ally in because that's obviously easy. So in this case, I think it's best to play them there because that covers up the move a hero action and it's 2 spaces away from the ally. So we'll do that. I'm gonna go here and get 3 power. And I can play 2 cards. I'm gonna play this one. I gain 1 power for each hero in my fate discard pile, up to 3 power total when I activate this card. So I'll play that there. That cost me 2. And I can play 1 more card. So I'm going to need to move, let's see. I either need to move this ally or I need to play another ally because I don't have a move an ally action. Let's perform this ingredient, and it lets me perform 1 available action at my location twice. So I'm gonna take 3 money, but that cost me 1 power. And that's my turn. Back up to 4. They got 4. All right, so lands on a fate, so they're going to fate me again. If Sleepy is revealed during a fate action, you may play both cards revealed during that action. So I think that means I need to draw a second card. So let's roll to see where they go, because I'm not sure which one is best. They would go to 3. And let's draw another one. An item, so Wishing Well. When Wishing Well is played, attach it to a hero. Each time Evil Queen moves to this location, she immediately loses 1 poison. So, the place this hurts me the most is attaching it to Doc, because that is where I am able to brew poison. So if I move to that location, I lose a poison. Right now I don't have any poison, so it wouldn't affect me right now. All right, so back to me. I'm gonna go here and take 2 money, discard some cards. I do have Take a Bite, but I don't have any poison. So let's discard some things. I actually don't want to discard any of these. And I don't want to play, actually I will play this one. I'm gonna play this one again, which lets me perform an action twice. So I'm just gonna take, well, I gotta pay 1 and then I get 2. And since I've already got that ingredient here, I do not put it there, I just discard it. And let's draw. a 1, so they're gonna fate, and I can do a condition, but I don't have any conditions. So they're gonna fate. Evil Queen must reveal her hand. Choose a card from her hand to discard. So let's see, they're gonna discard the one that helps me the most, which is probably this final ingredient that I need. So we'll discard that one. And I do not get to draw a card to replace that until the end of my turn. So now I'm gonna go here to brew poison. And I can play one card. I'm gonna play this card, which costs me 0. On this turn, I can perform actions that are covered by a hero. So I'm going to, I can do both of them. So I'm gonna take 1 power, and then I'm gonna move this hero over 1 space. Now I'm going to brew poison. So I need 3 plus 2. So I'll put 5. So I got 5 there. 5 poison and 2 power. And draw back up to my hand. Now it's back to them. 6. And I should have done a fate action. I was not paying attention to that. All right, so let's go defeat some heroes because I got 2 take-a-bites. So let's go here. So I gotta pay 3. So I can play this card, take a bite, choose a hero at her location and pay poison. Equal to the strength. They have a strength of 3. So that defeats them, but I gotta pay 3 poison. And now that these are uncovered, I can do those actions. So I get 2 power, and I can activate one of my cards. So I can gain 1 power for each hero in my fate discard pile. I got 1 hero there, so I can get 1 power. And is there anything I want to discard? Yeah, I'll get rid of that one. Oh, they're both the same, so I'll get rid of both of those. They were just condition cards that I don't really want. 3. I need to do some fate actions, so we're gonna go there. Get a power. We're going to do a fate. 3, so they move back twice. And then I will play my ingredient. Gain 1 power for each location in your realm that has a hero. So I get 1 power. And that unlocks the dwarf's cottage. Because I've got all 4 ingredients there now. So I can now visit that location. So now I can brew poison. Let's brew 4. So I now got 6 poison. And that's it. 3. And let's go here so we can fate them again. 5. And when you're moving them backwards, you do not do the actions that they land on. So I just landed on a fate, but I do not do that action. Same goes for the condition actions. If I were to land on it when I move them backwards, I don't get to do that condition. All right, I think I already took power. I don't remember. I can play a card and I can discard. So let's, I'm gonna get rid of that one. I have 2 take-a-bites, but I think I want to keep both of them because I don't know how many there are in the deck. And I'm going to get rid of that one. And I don't think I played a card, but I have nothing to play, so. So let's roll for them. They get a 5. And let's go here to defeat Sleepy. I can play a card, so we're gonna play Take a Bite and pay 2 poison to defeat Sleepy. And now I can play a second card and activate an ability. So we're gonna activate this one again. I gain 1 power for each hero in my discard. There's now 2 heroes there, so I get 2 power. So this one lets me duplicate the ability of an ingredient I have played. The cost to play this card is equal to the cost of the ingredient I choose. So not that one. I can perform one available action. So I can perform an action twice, or we'll do this one. Oh no, we won't, because I want Snow White to come up. I need them to start taking a fate action more often, so I'll use that instead. I won't actually play that. I can do this one. Choose an item or ingredient from my deck or discard pile and put it into my hand. So that cost me 2. And maybe I should do the Take a Bite. I have 1 in my hand, but I don't know, should I get another one? Sure, I'll take the Take a Bite. Now I gotta shuffle the deck here. Oops. Making a mess. Okay. And that is everything, I believe. Oh, now I have 3 take-a-bites. All right, let's roll for them. A 1, and they land on a fate, so I have to fate twice. Alrighty. Pickaxe. When pickaxe is played, attach it to a hero. That hero gets +2 strength. Since there are no heroes, that card is not playable. And according to the rules, if the card isn't playable, you draw a second card. This one is as a hero. Evil Queen must pay 1 power to perform the brew poison action. Let's roll to see where they go. They're gonna go right there. And they're doing a second fate. Evil Queen must reveal her hand. Choose a card from her hand to discard. Well, the card that's the most valuable is Take a Bite, so we'll get rid of that one. Which is good for me because I still have 2 more in my hand. Okay, so where do I want to go? Let's go here, get a power, do a fate. 5, so I move them back 4. And let's brew some more poison. How much do I got? I got 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put 8 poison in there. Got a lot of poison. And so I can play a card now and move a hero. Well, the only cards I have are these. Let's move a hero, because I want to discard some stuff next round. So let's move them there. Okay, back to them. 6. And that lands on, so they get a second dice. So that means they're probably going to start moving faster now. And I'm going to go here and play Take a Bite, pay 2 power. Oh, I forgot about this ability here. I must pay 1 power to perform the brew action. So I gotta pay a power because I did brew action last round. And so now we're paying 2 poison to defeat Bashful. And now I can do the actions that they just uncovered. So I get 2 power. I can activate this. So I gain 1 power for each hero. There's now 3 heroes. So I'll take 3 power. And let's get rid of some cards. I'm gonna get rid of that because I don't want it. And that. So I only have 1 Take a Bite in my hand now. Now I have 2 Take a Bites. So we roll both dice now. And they're gonna move 6. So they move the highest value. So I need to start fading as often as I can. I really need Snow White to come up. And I'm not sure if there's a card. I think there is a card that allows me to find Snow White. I need that card to come up. So let's fate against them. 3, so they're gonna move back twice. Oh, I totally forgot about these. So let's see. I have played my second ingredient. I have not played Snow White, and I've unlocked the Dwarves' Cottage. So I'm going to do a fate action this turn, and I'll place this other power token on the next available fate spot. Because most likely they would have fated me by now because of that token. Evil Queen loses 1 poison. Okay. Choose a hero from Evil Queen's fate discard pile and put it on the top of her fate deck. Okay, so let's find the one that affects me the most. Oh, well, according to the rules for Evil Queen for solo, it says it prefers Doc over everything else. So we will choose Doc, and let's roll to see where it's going. Going right there. Okay, did I just now go here? I think I did. And I already did the fate. So I get a power. Hopefully I didn't already take a power, I don't remember. And I can play a card. And I can discard stuff. Let's discard that and that, which are the same card. And then I have 2 Take Bites, which we will... I'm gonna get rid of 1, because I really need to find Snow White. And I still don't have anything to help with that. Okay, so back to them. A 1 and a 6, so they move 6 and a fate. Oh, that's like a triple fate. Okay, let me check the rules real quick. I'm not sure if a triple fate is allowed. I know a double fate is, but let me check the rules. Alright, so it says that the AI will never fate more than 3 times, so they can fate 3 times. So that's what we're doing here. That's good for me, I guess, because Snow White is bound to come up. When pickaxe is played, attach it to a hero. That hero gets +2 strength. And here is Snow White. Snow White can only be played to the Dwarves' Cottage. Snow White gets +1 strength for each other hero in her realm. In the Evil Queen's realm. Then we have Grumpy. Grumpy gets +1 strength if there are no other heroes at his location. So he's gonna want to be played to a location that there are no other heroes. Let's play him probably to this one so that I can't move heroes. Okay, so that's their turn. And yeah, I believe that was 3, right? Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, it was 3. Okay. Sorry, I forgot. So back to me. Let's do a fate and make some poison. I have to defeat Doc before defeating other heroes. So let's do the fate action first. 3, so they move back twice. Let's brew some poison. So I'm gonna need 5. 8. 12, but she gets +1 strength for each other hero. So 14. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll stay with 12 for now. Actually, we're gonna do, I need to keep at least 3. Okay, so I can still play a card. May perform actions that are covered by a hero, so I can do that. Or I can copy one of the ingredients that I have. Let's see, what's ingredients? Gain a power. Choose an unblocked location. We are going to play this card, which lets me perform actions that are covered by a hero. And that would be moving a hero and taking a power. And we're gonna move Snow White here because heroes at the Huntsman's location gets -1 strength. So that's good for me. Okay, so that's everything. Let's draw a card and roll for them. A 5. And Snow White has been played, so I gotta place this, which means they would have passed it, so I gotta do a fate. Another hero. When Happy is played, Evil Queen loses poison equal to the number of heroes in her realm. Ooh, that sucks. Equal to the number of heroes in her realm. Well, I'm assuming it counts Happy, so 4. There we go. That was a powerful card. We're gonna place him here because I feel like that's probably a good spot to hinder me because it covers my whole top board. And let's go defeat Doc because I have to defeat him first. So let's go here and play Take a Bite and play 5, pay 5. To defeat Doc, as well as the item that was attached to him. And then I get 2 power and I can activate a card. So let's activate this one. Gain a power for each hero in your discard pile, but only up to 3 power. So there's definitely 3. There's definitely 3 heroes in my deck. And let's discard some stuff. What are the odds of them landing on a condition space? Should I get rid of it? I don't know. Let's do this one. Each time a fate action targets me before my next turn, I take 1 power from the supply and add it to my poison. So let's do that and draw back up to 4. We got another take a bite, which is good. They are moving 4. Okay, now let's make some more poison and do a fate. 4, so they're gonna move back 3. And play a card and brew poison. So what do I want to play? Duplicate the ability of an ingredient you have played. Let's see what I've played. Gain 1 power for each location in your realm that has a hero. Perform 1 available action at your location again. I could play a second card. Choose an unlocked location in your realm. You may move each hero with a strength of 3 or less from that location to an adjacent unlocked location. Let's play this ingredient. So I'm playing this card, which lets me copy one of the ingredients I've played, paying the cost of that ingredient, which is 2, and I can move each hero with a strength of 3 or less from that location to an adjacent unlocked location. Actually, let's not do that. It'd be better for me to actually play this one, which lets me perform actions that are covered by a hero. And I'm gonna move Happy here because at this location he would get -1 strength. So let's put Happy down at the bottom. So I've got 2 heroes there and I get 1 power. And now let's brew some poison. I need 6, 12, 4, 6. Yeah, let's do all of that right there. Okay, draw a card and let's roll for them. 5 and a fate. And I can play my condition card. Take 1 power from the supply and add it to your poison. And they're gonna fate. When Sneezy is played, you may discard 1 item from his location. This is the only location with an item, so we'll play him here and get rid of that item. And now it's back to me, and I'm going to defeat Snow White, I think. Let me see. Because I don't have to defeat all of the heroes in order to win, unless a card says that a hero has to be defeated before other heroes. So I just need to have the correct amount of poison. So she's at 4. Let's see, do any of these say? Nope. So none of the heroes say that I have to defeat them first. So I can defeat Snow White as long as I have 4. Plus, this one for each other. 4, 5, 6, 7. -1, so 6. And I definitely have 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. And Snow White is defeated. Oh wait, no she's not. I have to play Take a Bite. I do have the card though. Yes, all right, so I played Take a Bite. I've paid the poison. She is defeated. So I win. And I still had plenty. Well, I mean, not plenty, but I still had at least a couple turns before the AI would have reached the end. So I really like this. solo variant for Villainous, and I'm glad that there is a solo variant because I play this solo more often than I play with other players. So I really like this solo variant, and I will link that down in the description so you can check it out. But like I said, there are multiple solo variants on BGG. This is the only one I've tried and I like it, so I just stick with this one. And there are a lot of different villains to play with, all different objectives, so they're all fun. And the one I have not been able to win on solo mode is Cruella. I don't know why, but she's just so much harder on solo. So yeah, all the different villains are fun to play with. Let me know down in the comments if you've played Villainous and what your favorite villain is. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day and see you next time. Bye.